Liberty is not a flag, not a law, not a statue. Liberty is alive. It pulses in the voices of children asking why, in the courage of a protester, in the whispered no of someone who refuses to be silenced. But liberty can die, and if we stop caring, if we stop asking what it means, it will. This is not just a history lesson, it is a reckoning. You may think freedom was born in 1776, but its roots run far deeper. Back to the marble stones of Athens, where Solon, a poet turned lawgiver, dared to say justice must rise above privilege. Back to the councils of indigenous peoples, where leaders governed by consensus and accountability. Back to Rome, where law was carved into stone so that even rulers were bound by it. Centuries later, in the Age of Enlightenment, Locke, Montesquieu, Rousseau, and others gave liberty its modern voice. Locke proclaimed that freedom was the birthright of every human being. Montesquieu divided power to protect it. Rousseau called for the general will. Voltaire defended the right to speak, even when he despised the words. So when Thomas Jefferson penned the Declaration of Independence, those soaring words, "All men are created equal, endowed with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness," were not conjured from thin air. They were the echoes of the ancients, the vision of Greek philosophers, the wisdom of Roman jurists, the reasoning of John Locke, the fire of the Enlightenment. Revolutions ignited, empires trembled, and still the question echoes across time. What must change? Today, liberty is challenged in ways unimagined by our ancestors, not by crowns or chains, but by algorithms, by misinformation, by surveillance, by voices shouting past each other instead of listening. We feel it when teachers are told what not to teach, when journalists are condemned for doing their jobs, when neighbors stop speaking to each other over politics, when fear divides us into silence. But freedom still survives. It survives in art, in compassion, in the stories we tell and the truths we refuse to surrender. Liberty has never been one size fits all. To some it means escape, to others arrival, to many it means finally being seen. The story of liberty is not over. It is not a monument to admire. It is a fire to be tended, and it belongs to every generation, from ancient councils to the digital frontier, from forgotten battlefields to the headlines of today. This is the story of how reason gave birth to freedom and how fragile that freedom still is. Because liberty is not a date in history. It is not a finished product. It is a dialogue. And the moment we stop asking the question, that's when it dies. Origins of Liberty by Schneider, available now at Amazon.com.